Good morning. Happy Sunday. Naomi Tucker, Keith Fustel. Lovely day for an 8-race card. Of course, we'll all reflect on all the action from yesterday. 5 stakes races, plenty of storylines. But we're going to look ahead quickly before we dive into this card, because in exactly a week from now, Canter for a Cause will be held at Pimlico Racecourse from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Check riding on the historic Pimlico Racecourse off your bucket list. $50 per trip benefits the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance. There's 4 groups: Seabiscuit, Secretariat, War Admiral, and Ben's Cat, all depending on how fast you would like to go on this historic track. I'm afraid I'm not in town, otherwise I definitely would have gone to have a look. Are you going to at least come and peek?
Oh, man, I'll have to be here, I guess. But, last time, I was telling Tim last time I was on a horse, it was a long time ago. And my grandfather used to be a jockey. And so when I was like 5 or 6, they had a couple of horses at their house, and he put me on the back of one and took a ride around the pasture, and that was enough for me.
That was about it?
That was
okay.
it. So, yeah, he put the fear of God into me on that.
Oh, I guess that protected you from possibly ending up exercise riding like I did,
that
or
was
being a jockey. But you know what? You missed out there. It's fun being on the back of a horse.
Yeah, well, that's fine. That's good. I'll leave that to the jockeys and people like you. But no, I'll just kind of sit back and watch.
There you go. You can definitely have a look at Canter for a Cause, of course, on Sunday at Pimlico Racecourse. But also, we have the Maryland Million being our next big stakes day coming up on the 23rd of October. What is that, about 3 weeks from now? We are rolling along with all these terrific stakes days. Of course, Maryland Million highlighting the Maryland sired and Maryland bred thoroughbreds here, Mid-Atlantic Circuit. We've got some very good ones that have come from these pastures. We'll talk about him in just a bit. Of course, Nick's Go winning the Grade 3 Lucas Classic. But of course, Claiming Crown preview coming up next weekend. The Claiming Crown will be held at Gulfstream Park in December. And if you win one of the preview races, you have your entry fee paid for, as well as your traveling cost up to $2,500. So that's a good incentive to participate. Let's have a look at the current track conditions. Fast and firm. Just a lovely balmy day here today.
I tell you what, it felt like the temperature went up like 10 or 15 degrees within an hour. It was a little chill very early this morning. Right now it's balmy. What do we have? 73. It feels more like 80, 85 right now, right out in the sun. So beautiful day. If you can get out here, watch a little live horse racing, maybe go upstairs to the second floor, check out some football. We got it all here on offer at Laurel Park. But a good day. The turf course, if I had to take one little, it's been pretty kind to closers, wouldn't you think, overall? So that's kind of a lean I'm kind of getting from that turf course right now.
I've noticed that slightly bit as well, but also I do think it depends. Like, can you carry your speed, especially those sprint races? If you're going to blast from the gate and they go very hard up front, it's tough to keep that up.
It is, but I mean, I thought Francatelli would have stayed a little bit longer yesterday and kind of faded. But and some cannons roar. Speaking about the Maryland Million price play there at 22-1.
He ran very, very well.
Gutsy third, just gets beat 2 next. But then my other price play, it didn't run well at all.
Yeah. The Laurel Dash was the place of price base. XY Speed paid, $18, I do believe. A terrific race as well. Let's dive into this first race on the card. Early pick 5 starts in race number 1. 5.5 furlongs on the turf. The distance claiming 16 to 12,500. Norman is a 2 lifetime. Start with your top selection, Lifespan.
Yes.
It seems that Lifespan has figured this racing thing out with a top performance in his latest turf outing. This was, of course, the horse that I think it was like 15 races before he managed to get the win home. I think that kind of still scared me away. I'm still in the back of my mind that this gelding doesn't like to win too much, but I must admit that last turf sprint was very, very strong, making up a lot of ground.
Went back and watched that again this morning. He did have a little bit of traffic mid-stretch, and he had to alter down to the inside. He finished up quite well. I mean, he just blew past Bloodproof, who's going to be in this race, the 6th horse today. And it looks to me like he wants to sprint on the turf. He's had a couple of races. His other races were going longer on the grass. This suits him the way the turf is playing, and there's some speed in here. I'm looking for somebody from off the pace. You're going to get an okay price with Lifespan. Just needs to steer clear of traffic. I don't care. Settle well back, top of the stretch. Find a good seam or go wide and make that steady run.
Yeah, so my runner on the outside, the number 8, Smitten Enough, I actually think that he's going to get a lovely trip. You know, going to just slot in behind, get that stalking spot. First victory about 4 starts ago at the maiden 12.5 level, ran twice at that claiming 16 level, sprinting, and has done well at it. I think the draw is perfect for him. Hassan Alamri has been doing pretty decent here thus far this meet. I'm going to take, hopefully, maybe get a little bit of a price. Early 8-1, I'll take that any day.
Yeah, Smitten Enough should set a good trip. It's the extra 16th of a mile, 5 furlongs, suits was swimming perfectly, but I think he's going to draft in just behind the leaders. You're going to see speed from the outside. Little Bowl Bandit is quick. King Sean is definitely going to go. He's pretty much one-dimensional. So first run, I know one thing, with all things being equal out of the gate, Smitten Enough's going to get the jump on my top selection, but I'm going to use the 8 in there. I'm going to throw a little price play as well in here. Dapper's Drink. Reported first-time gelding is the 4 Dapper's Drink. We've got a 7-pound bug rider, and Bill, my partner with Equibase, picked up on one of his rides the other day. Might have been yesterday. Alvelo looked all right. I think he's going to be okay. We've got another rider in Bryson Butterfly, so a chance now for some more of these bugs here at Laurel Park. But this horse, another one, ran against a little bit better, but going around a ground. I think the sprint is going to suit his style. Used the shackled as well here for Hammy Smith.
Yeah, no, I used the shackled actually in my exact here for Hammy Smith. Back to this level, which is clearly where he's more competitive at. He's been able to run against some tough turf horses in Golden Can, and then next out winner, I'm a Star by that optional starter allowance. This should just be a lot easier for him. Charlie Marquez on board for Hamilton Smith. A good combo there. He's ridden the horse before he ran. Actually rode that horse in that race I just mentioned. Optional claim and starter allowance. Race 2, early pick 4, starting right here. And let's hope you can give people a little bit of money to use on their Sunday.
Yeah, $24. That's kind of been our magic number for our tickets. 3 deep to get you started. I think this is a tricky race. Race 2. I'll go 1, 5, and 6. Loved Us. Hopefully can make a run from the back of the pack. It needs to break a little bit better. A spread here in race 3 with the 1, 5, 6, and 10. Another puzzle of a race. There's not much flow in here. I think Prince of Caps may just inherit the lead. There's really no speed. We'll see what the riders decide to do in that opening, quarter of a mile. See how this thing kind of sets up. Race 4, we'll go 2 deep with the 1 and the 11. Kyosha, a bomb play in there. I'll talk about that one later. In race 5 with the 1 and 2. Look what I found in Zolaby. Also, both of these coming off some tough trips. There's your ticket, $24.
Yeah, $24 to get you going. In race number 2, maiden 25 fillies in 3, 4, and 5-year-old. 6 furlongs on the main track here. And Keith, let's start with your top selection. Love Dust on the rail for Mikey Gerales. Angel Cruz, I use her in my exacta. She rallied very, very gamely in her last 2 starts. Doesn't get away well, though. And Hans, slightly cautious, might get there too late like she has in her last 2.
Yeah, that's the key. Ran okay in debut, a little bit of late life there. Has gotten better the last couple in the turf. But this is the one, at least Mike is kind of jumping the horse up, a little protect move. They're confident. A lot of these other horses dropping down to the 25 level. I like that. I think there's some suspect speed. Love Dust. I think if she can be in range, maybe mid-turn 3 or 4 lengths out of it, she's got a shot to mow him down.
Yeah, I used the number 6 on the outside, Sunshine and Rainbows. First time on the main track today for trainer Michael Trombetta. She showed speed on the turf on her debut. I hope that she can translate that to the main track. And we have seen a few youngsters in the past translate well from the turf to the dirt here. I think this new track is going to be kind to her. She had a nice workout on the 27th of September, 48 and 4. I'm going to try and get Sunshine and Rainbows home in here because just looking at some of the other body of the field, I'm not completely sold on some of the others. So I'm going to take a flyer with the horse trying the dirt for the first time.
Tread a little bit lightly here in race 2. Trombetta's been good with this move, though. He's about 30% going turf to dirt with these maidens. Second time out. I'll toss the 5 in there, a new face. Finally gets a fast track, going from a 2% trainer to about an 8% trainer. A little step up. This trainer has done well in the transitioning into the barns. I think gets a fair shake on the fast track. Is going to be part of the pace here with Charlie Marquez.
And also first start as a 3-year-old for the number 5 Simple Sugar, bound to at least find a little bit in terms of improvement now being older. Race number 3 claiming 16 to 12 and a half. We have 8 races on the card today, which means that the Rainbow Pick 6 is starting in race number 3. Callie created a ticket for us. Let's see how she plays it here. The 1 and the 9 for race number 3, and then race 4 she goes 4 deep in that spot. 1, 4, 10 and 13, 7 furlongs the distance distance there. And in race 5, she uses the 1, the 4, and the 5. I also look what I found is also my top selection in that spot, the number 1. And then race 6, she goes a little bit tighter, using the 7 and the 9 here. We're going at 1 mile on the turf. I do respect those horses as well, though I have a price play in there. But then she singles in race number 7 on my top selection as well. Sparkle Sprinkle for Jerry Robb. I like that she singles in here. I was so tempted on my late pick 4 to do the same. Just ended up tossing in the number 2, Buff My Boots, just as a bit of a saver for John Salzman Jr. But I like that she's confident and taking Sparkle Sprinkle as her single on the day. Race 8, 1, 10, 13, $28.80 tickets starting in race number 3. Let's talk about your top selection in this spot, Keith, who I agreed with. We don't always see things the same way, but this time around we both landed on the number 6, Coral Legacy for Hugh McMahon. Do have a video spotlight of his latest outing at Laurel Park. That was after a bit of a break. He was dead last on a slow pace. You can see him there coming with a move. Now had to weave through traffic, but I like that he was able to split horses, kick, even though the front runners hadn't really done that much. I like the fact that he was still able to, no matter what, find and keep rallying. That shows a pretty sharp closing kick.
Exactly. And Fergal Lynch right now on the turf has been deadly. He's been very, very good. A good judge of pace, and he gets horses to relax and then bring that finish. That's the key for me. We're going second off the claim. Was able to kind of work into a race that had really no flow right up top. Slow pace. You see that 25. I kind of see a similar situation again. Maybe he can get him a little bit closer, a little bit more ground, but I like the finish was game. I think he sustains a run against this group, especially at 1 1/8 miles.
Yeah, I agree with you. I have him on top as well. We use completely different horses underneath. I'll talk about the 9 first, Resident Liberal from Mary Epler. Last time at this level, he progressed to a second placing on the Laurel turf. He really starts to get gear back up towards those mid-70 buyers. I feel like this horse has found himself again. He's doing well for the Epler stable. I use him underneath, but you landed on the number 10 Knockhold for Neil Morris, JD Acosta. Good third last time out here behind the aforementioned Coral Legacy.
Yeah, we've got a lot of horses in here that kind of make moves and flatten a little bit.
Yeah.
In 1 1/8 miles, I think we're going to see more of the same. I wish this horse was positioned a little bit more down towards the inside, Naomi, but you've got a rider like Acosta. You know, he's aggressive usually earlier in races, especially route races, and some of the other riders. Sometimes it helps him, sometimes it hurts him. It might help him in this case because he's strong enough to kind of keep a horse going. I think you're going to see him try to make a move into it around the 3/8 pole, and hopefully he can kind of carry this horse to the wire. Pretty good effort last time out. I thought that was pretty good, despite being wide every step of the way. Might get it again. So I'm going to use him. He'll be a little bit of a price. But Prince of Caps, we've both got in the mix. What do you think?
The more I look at this race, the more I feel like Prince of Caps could actually be the horse to beat in here. Got through his Nominator 2 lifetime condition last time out with a deep closing effort. Did get a hot pace to run at.
Yeah.
That was, I guess,
Great
my
trip.
Question mark. Is there gonna be a pace to run into for him, or does he have to jump up and take the lead?
I think he's no worse than second down the backside, giving a clean break. If maybe somebody will just, you see the trainers, they talk, they look at the form, they're like, okay, let's just try to steal it. Okay, so sometimes you might have 5 or 6 guys going for the lead in a race
there's no apparent pace.
With horses that just aren't accustomed to that style. So the good thing about Prince of Caps, I think this race, he doesn't have to do much differently than what he's done. It's just going to naturally take him there. He's not going to have to rush to get position. Might like to be covered up a little bit, but that might not be the case. But I think the road's going to go through him, especially from the quarter pole home.
I definitely feel like it will be. So the more I look at it, the more I was kind of getting wary, going, Prince of Caps might actually be the horse to beat in this spot. Race number 4 is the start of the late pick. 5-7 furlongs. The distance here for maiden, claiming 10 to 8,000. Now, we both landed on a horse that's dropping in class here. 3-year-old filly for trainer Jerry O'Dwyer, the number 1, Windrush Karma. Lowest level ever that she'll be competing at, but she's only ran 3 times out. She's got the rail. I think she's going to have to use it. I think she's going to show speed. I do wonder if this stretch out to 7 is really what she'd like to do, because you kind of see that she goes fast early and then didn't find that much late in her last 2 outings. So either she has to be a little bit more preserving in her energy and do something like on debut where she actually set behind the pace. But I think when you're drawn on the inside, you have to go.
I think she's got enough natural speed to get position without have to be worked too hard. I mean, there's nobody in here with blazing early speed, nobody with kind of the early speed that she has. Maybe the 3. peachy between us. We'll go out with Batista, but I think she can go back, like you said, to that debut tactic, just kind of take up the stalking role and go from there, especially to 7-8. She's going to have to save a little bit from the 3/8 home. The 11 is a bomb play for me. The blinkers go on. It's a barn change. Looked at the family. It's all dirt. So why not? Allison Delgado doesn't run a slew of horses, but her ROI is good. I mean, she hits with some prices. I'm going to take a little flyer here with Kyosha.
Yeah, I used the number 10, Guapa Chica, for Linda Albert. She improved in her last race. That was at Timonium. This is going to be third after a break. She does lean and lug a little, but she keeps on finding. Yeah. So it's more a question of, is there anyone that's going to try and go with her late, because she likes to make that late kind of move. I think she's going to enjoy the Laurel Park track here again. We keep using this angle, but it seems to be the case that if horses are able to navigate the conditions at Timonium, they might even like it more if they have a little bit of speed here at this track.
Yep, and you saw that with your winner the other day, right? Horse relaxed a little bit. Michael Gorhams had just kicked away from the field. Yeah, so that was good.
Absolutely. We'll take a quick break, but stay with us. Welcome back to Laurel Park. We're on race number 5 of 8 for this gorgeous Sunday in Maryland. I was going to say on the Mid-Atlantic Circuit in Maryland here. It's we had a stellar day yesterday. Let's keep going with that momentum. Relaxing day ahead. Come and join us if you can. Race number 5 starts the late pick 4, for which I created a ticket today. Look, I'm a bit spready. 1, 4, 5 in here in this maiden 16 claiming event. And then in race number 6, I go 3 deep as well, using the 3, the 7, and a 9. Do have a price play in here, the number 3 Beacon for trainer Michael Merriman. I think she's going to have a nice tactical trip in there. She's dropping back down from the allowance company to the optional claiming spot. I think it's going to work. And of course, Javier Toledo has been really, really on fire. And then race number 7, I was tempted to single in here on the number 3 Sparkle Sprinkle for Jerry Robb. Blistering early speed. She's unbeaten. She was big price fixtures actually on her second start. She's faster than anyone early, and she can carry a speed. Do throw in the number 2 Above My Boots for trainer John Saltzman Jr. JD Kosu comes off a strong win at Timonium last time as well, just as a bit of a saver there. Race 8, I finished things off using the 3, the 10, and the 12 for a nice $27 late pick of 4 tickets starting in that race number 5. Maiden claimer 16 to 12,500, 5.5 furlongs sprinting distance. Let's have a look at the horse that you have in your exacta, Zola B. We're looking at her last event there, where she didn't get away that well. She kind of got bumped around, but I think to me, the more the more unfortunate part of her race was actually not her start, but the fact that once she starts rushing up here, then Victor Asta actually have to check quite a bit. You can see, I think we just cut away before we saw it there.
Trust me, yeah, she did. She did. She had to check, Naomi. And then here around the turn, just sitting there with horse, coming into the stretch, waiting, and never really gets the clear trip that she wanted. Alters out there, coming towards mid-stretch. You're going to see it kind of get stalled again. But I tell you what, it looked like she was poised second off the bench to come back to one of her better races. Just had the tough trip. Now we're going to go third time out. I think she's a user. I think if with a clean break she gets that stalking position in here and brings a little finish. I'm going to use her and the 1. Look what I found. Both of those horses off of trouble trips. Look what I found. Had to check early last time. Was very wide and kept running late. I think that Capstone Girl race is a little bit better than Zola B's race. So hence I just kind of leaned towards her. Also threw Tidal Waters in there. And even the 3 horse. I thought the 3 ran respectable. Zelda Bourne out of the Capstone Girl race. You see that short comment steady to half, 7 wide here for Sal Sinatra and Sharon Banford. We're all rooting for Sal, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course we want a winner for Sal Sinatra, our old president of the Maryland Jockey Club here, of course, now with Equibase, but definitely hope for him to get Zelda Bourne home with a win. It feels bad now. I didn't even use the horse underneath. I'm sorry, Sal. We do want her to win in this spot. But yeah, I landed on the number 1. Look what I found. As you said, she had a bit of trouble in running, drops back down from the maiden 25 to the maiden 16. Ran well, came with a really strong run on the outside. Of course, our very very own Callie Francois was on board of her, and she just had so much horse left. Really was trying to keep her in, though, was kind of moved to the filly was moving to the outside, but she kept on finding. I thought that was very encouraging, and now down to a lower level as well. And I used the number 5 underneath. Iceland Philo for Susan Cooney also drops back down from that same race. Was part of an early pace that was pretty decent. Kind of struggled to see that out, but possibly a bit more of a conservative pace setup with the lower level in here might help her out. Javian Toledo aboard in here. Race number 6, optional claimer starter allowance, 1 mile on the turf. Beam of Light is those you have on top. I use her underneath. We do have a video spotlight from quite a while ago, right? We go back quite a bit to Gulfstream Park in 2020, December 10th that day, as I'm just moving along to, I mean, she had a beautiful mid-pack turret. I thought she had a really great position there, and then a lovely sort of strong rally around the bend. You see she's got her nose in front right there.
Yeah, an allowance optional claimer. I thought this was a little bit tougher race. I think that the mile distance is perfect for her and set up nicely. Second off the bench with that little try up at Presque Isle. Makes her run and still holds pretty well. Gets a short lead, but just second best behind Get Rewarded, who came back to run like an 83 fig. I think she's going to be able to get position in here, drop towards the inside. There is some speed. I think Beckon works well right back to a mile. She held well, and of course it was definitely favoring closers last time out. So 9, 4, 3, the 4 Serenade Kitten. This is a horse, I tell you, 4-time winner. Yeah. Okay, I love that. The 3-year-old, she's won 4, and this is, a lot of horses haven't won 3 yet. I think this position inside, it's going to help her out a lot. I think she can sit covered up and bring a much better run. So she's a user for me. Mary Epler with a couple turf wins of late. So pay attention to that one. I think she's going to sneak away at an okay price.
I have a price play in here. So I used Beckon for Michael Mary and Javian Toledo. I think she's going to navigate herself a lovely stalking trip. She doesn't need the lead. She's won on the lead before, but she's capable of closing, which I think is very, very decent. And her last full races have just been very, very strong. Now back down from that open allowance company to the optional claimer starter allowance. This is not an easy race, but I think that she definitely is capable of bettering these. I throw in the number 7 as well. My Candy Girl for trainer Brittany Russell. First off the claim for Brittany. Now we know how strong she is with that angle. And My Candy Girl ran at Saratoga, claiming 35 nomens to 3 lifetime. Those are not easy races. They come up very competitive. 11-horse field that day. Was close enough to a pretty decent pace. Only got beaten by a length and a quarter. I feel like you have to use her. Now that was a mile and 16. This is a mile. Not a problem whatsoever.
Yeah, I just think, again, the way I'm kind of seeing this turf playing, she's going to have to work out a little trip just tucked up off the speeds. There's some other speed types. It's that little flattening late that she shows in some of her races. It's kind of, I think she's going to draw play because of the barn, obviously, underneath. But I'm not going to put her in the top
I can
slot.
tell.
We'll see. Yeah, I am. And Color Crush you've got to use in very good form here.
Absolutely.
But going back to race 5 real quick, talking about Michael Merriman, you got a price here with Beckon and Ebonine, the 9 in that race. This horse had a lot of trouble last time we get a chance to talk to it, but Carlos Lopez, throw that horse in your exact as well as a bomb, because that mare was extremely good on the turf. Now we can head to race 7.
I like it. Good little price play there. That was April 9, the number 9 in race
as a flyer.
Number 5. Why not? I feel today actually could be one of those days that we see a couple of bigger prices, especially in some of the maiden claiming fields. Race number 7, as I'm scrolling through my picks here, back to race 7 from race 5. 6 furlongs distance, also optional claimer starter allowance. And was that with your top selection in here? Number 4, Click to Confirm for Rudy Sanchez Solomon. Won on her only outing to date and showed a fair bit of a professionalism, being able to make that sort of wider 3-wide move, keep on finding, can't really falter, was claimed in that race. So now first off the claim with the Rudy Sanchez barn. Look, she has to improve ever so slightly. I think that there's a couple, for example, Sparkle Sprinkle on her inside that are a lot faster, but look for Click to Confirm to make that kind of move into a strong pace.
I think she's going to be set up beautifully here with Buff My Boots and Sparkle Sprinkle. Sparkle Sprinkle rode the bias last time out, was clearly very, very good. I mean, she was kind of taken in hand late. I think we might have a video of that. But Click to Confirm beat the bias last time, was 3 wide and kept on chugging. I think she's going to spy the speed. Let's watch this last race with Sparkle Sprinkle. Look at this speed out of the gate.
Like a rocket.
Oof.
Gone.
X-Man says, let's go, and she says,
ears
let's
pricked.
go.
She's just loving it.
Yeah,
she's having fun with him there.
Just takes off, and he got to the best part of the racetrack, and it was over. But she was really eager, showing even much more than what she showed at that Timonium race, man. She just carried it the entire way. Dominant performance and improvement, but why can't the 4 improve a little bit as well? Above my sprinkle above my boots. Going to be very short prices. Yes, they are the 2 to beat. They get tangled up. The 4 might be lurking.
Yeah, no, good point. I throw him above my boots just as a bit of a flyer. I think Sparkle Sprinkler's faster early, and if nobody gets to her and she's going to do something like that, they're going to have their work cut out for them trying to chase her tail there. But I like Click to Confirm. I use her in third because of indeed that angle. She's not going to try and get to the front. She's not going to get tangled up with either Buff My Boots or Sparkle Sprinkle. She's going to sit behind John Geraldo. Can just kind of have a look at what's going on and produce her late. Why not? I agree with you there. We both use I'm Getting there on the rail. Steps it up for Hamilton Smith as well. Minimum distance there at Timonium that she won over. She was pretty fast early too. I don't think as fast as Sparkle Sprinkle, but got a couple of speedsters on the inside.
Yeah, she beat out next out winner, Spicy Margarita, Claudio Gonzalez runner, and Hammy. He can get these horses to develop, move on, handle a little extra distance. Yeah, I'm getting there. I think she's another one going to be hoping there's a pace battle up front. She's going to improve and move into it.
Yeah, I am circling race number 7 as the race of the day that I'm most looking forward to with these juveniles, trying to see who improves the most and who will end up on top. Our nightcap, race number 8, a mile and 16 the distance on the turf here. Fillies and mares, 3, 4, and 5-year-old maiden claiming 16 to 12,500. And Keith, we are all over the place with this race. I saw your picks and I'm like, nope, I'm going somewhere completely different, meaning how wide open this affair really is. You use the number 7 on top, and here surely true. First time starter for the Edward Graham barn. RT Schiller sired. Look, a gatework coming into this. I love seeing a gatework coming into this. It's not the fastest of gateworks I've ever seen, so that kind of put me off ever so
well, you've got a barn. They can get a horse to go a route of ground. I'm just scrambling for a little prize. Hook in with a rider. They've had good luck together. Okay, Michael Sanchez certainly capable. I'm just not sold on everybody, especially the favorite, where that running style wants to be up front, but there's some other horses to press the issue in here. I think she's going to be able to handle the distance first time out. I've got to look for value. And there's a barn I really respect. They can get horses to win in a route.
I like it. You use Love My Cat underneath. Quite exposed here. 10 start. Maiden ran second twice. Look, the figures are there. But I'm just wondering why would today be the day she can get it done? She just has to show a little bit more for me.
Yeah, I mean, she had an excuse last time out. You see that pinch start, caught 5 wide, empty net, just absolutely dominated.
Yes.
There was a lot of trouble going into the first turn in that race, and it was empty net all from there. I mean, it just got a really good assist there. Nobody could challenge her through the backstretch and to the wire. But out of that race with trouble was Monster Rising. You see that carried out first turn. She's another one, though. She makes moves and she likes to flatten out a bit. So just not sold. I got to take a flyer on a first-time starter in here from a barn that I definitely think can get it done.
Yeah, I use the number 12 B underneath, and then the number 3 Fast Fashion as well for Mike Deeney. Look, she's also very exposed, but I like the fact that she really nearly put it together at Monmouth Park last time. Only got beaten by a nose. Fergal Lynch gets aboard here, mile and 16. She has tactical ability. She might even take the lead, and that 63 buyer is absolutely good enough to win this race.
Big jump. I don't know if I believe it, but after 12 starts and then she makes that 10-point, 12, 13-point rise. I think she's going to get other pressure, and she's going to be short priced because of that kind of stick out number.
Look, we agree to disagree in
That's
this
right.
race.
Okay.
I think that actually means that perhaps there's a price play to go for in this spot. Kind of curious to see who wins race 8, as that will conclude the handicapping segment, but we'll reflect on some of yesterday's action in Lightning Round. Was ready to perform, very dominant, much improved second start here for trainer Brad Cox. Did even have to kind of hold off a foe a little bit that was hanging in on him.
And this was a runner in debut at Ellis Park, got the job done by just near a nose. If it had gone another, I don't know, foot, would have been still a maiden, but got it done that day and gets it done with a even a more powerful performance, more sustainable run. Brad Cox, what do you need to know? How I didn't have this horse on the ticket. All he does is win 30% of his stakes races.
Oh, you were saying it this
So,
morning.
yeah.
Announced by Donegal Racing's Jerry Crawford that Ready to Perform will be lining up at the Breeders' Cup
cool.
next time around. I'm assuming Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. He did his best running late. He just kept on fighting there to the wire. So yeah, big news coming out of that race, and very much looking forward to seeing him perform at Del Mar. We had another 2-year-old take center stage here. Of course, we had the 2 highlight races, the Laurel Futurity and the Salima. We're looking at the Salima right here. By consumer spending, of course, touted as the heavy favorite here for trainer Chad Brown. But you know, she had to work for it. But look at that rally.
Yeah, I mean, Carrasco had to kind of get into her at the quarter pole, and she, you know, this one's got a lot of talent. I don't think she's even put it together just yet. You kind of, ears were pinned back all the way through the stretch, and then finally going to the wire, the ears go up with plenty left. He was just flashing the whip once she got rolling. I mean, she's got a serious kick. 76 buyer for Ready to Perform, 74 for consumer spending. I'm assuming we'll see her maybe out of Del Mar as well, right?
Quite possibly.
Laurel, the
so
launching
with the
pad for the
sure.
Breeders' Cup. I love it.
Why not?
Yeah.
We've got some juveniles strutting their stuff here. I think that is very plausible to see them back at Del Mar. Why not take that opportunity?
Sure.
Graham Motion did very well in race number 4. That was the All Along Stakes, where he did have a pair running. Tuned, you can just see her make that move on the outside, as well as the 3-year-old Oyster Box facing older ladies for the first time here. Ice cold, Graham Motion, exactly.
Yes, Oyster Box ran well, but this one, as we talked about, I thought was just going to be a little bit better, consistently faster. And she does it here, switches over to correct lead, and another, just a steady hand ride to the wire.
Yeah, and Graham Motion afterwards says that it really seems like she's turned things around for them. They've had her for a little while now. That was a second stakes victory for her, back-to-back stakes victories for Tuned. So we'll finish things off by highlighting the Maryland-bred Nick's Go. His preparation for his tilt at this year's Breeders' Cup Classic went all to plan. He basically took them all the way and said goodbye.
Yeah, I had to have a little challenge around the turn, and then it was over from there. Nick's Go, just a pro. I mean, if he gets to the front, he's really tough to deny, and just kind of look at the jock just peeking back, saying,
I don't
nobody
need to do
there.
much anymore.
Yeah, I can just pose for the picture here in the final stride. So, yeah, great to see it. Maryland bred on display again.
Absolutely. That was in the Grade 3 Lucas Classic, of course, trainer Brad Cox, and bred by Angie and Sabrina Moore here in Maryland. So, yeah, making us all very, very proud. So much looking forward to this year's Breeders' Cup Classic. I know who I'll be rooting for. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah. Nick's Go. And real quick, I want to send my condolences out to the family of Danny Fitchett. I know you didn't know Danny. I did a little bit. He was very good friends with my uncle. A starter here and part of the gate crew for a long time. He passed away a few days ago. He worked with some great horses at the Gate Secretariat, Seattle Slow Firm, you name it. Really big, strong guy. Nobody wanted to mess with him. He's a good dude. So Danny Fitchett, condolences to the family. Definitely going to be missed.
Yeah, my condolences as well. That wraps up the morning show for us. Dave Rotman will be up next with Scratches and Changes, and Callie and I will be back to guide you through the afternoon.
All righty, good luck.